Welcome to another Technical Ability live class on the IG. I am your host for today, Jared Forestiri, Master Instructor based out of New Jersey. This is my fourth time doing the live classes. I honestly really enjoy it. I hope you guys do too. Today we're going to get into our joint articulations like we always do. We're going to go into the feet, the hips. We'll get into the shoulders and the scaps a little bit, then we'll get into the C-spine quite a little bit as well. But today we're going to use a bench, and then we're going to use a wall too. We're going to our lunge, and we're going to produce some rotational force, some yielding isometrics or overcoming isometrics into the wall, and adding in some rotation for that lunge. All right, then we'll get into some 90-90 work as well. And then it's Technical Ability Live.
Huh?
It's for Technical Ability. It's live on their page.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
It's all right. No worries. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Get into our horse stance. Feet are going to be shoulder width apart here with the stick at 12 o'clock, 1 inch in front of the toes. From here, take the hands even to your sternum. Now let's push into the floor and create that force at 40% effort. All right, you should feel a deep front line begin to activate, begin to engage, all right, glutes. Make sure we're squeezing, we're posterior tuck the pelvis, okay? Shoulders stacked over the hips with the ears in line to our shoulders also. From here, let's lift that right heel up as high as we can and then drive that heel back down nice and slow. We always want to have active range of motion in the joint articulations. Remember, this is our prerequisite to all movement, right? So we need to make sure that we open up the joints and then we move them through their full range of motion and get that stimulus going to the nervous system to be ready to move into more of a global sense of movement, okay? So we're lifting back down nice and slow. Lift, try to get into that big toe, okay? We're gonna spend a little bit of time into our lunge today, so that's gonna be very key to make sure that we're safe at the bottom of that lunge, right? Down nice and slow, keep both hands on the stick. We lift up high as we can, keeping that posterior tuck, drop the heel down nice and slow. Lift, back down nice and slow. Again, we're driving the heel back down to the floor like we're trying to. Let's hold, and now grab the hip here, lock it down, shift the heel toward that pinky toe, shift toward the big toe. We're gonna do about 5 reps each side here. Pinky toe, big toe, pinky toe, big toe, 2 more, pinky toe, big toe. Bring the heel back to that 12 o'clock position, so it's on top here. And now let's work into our clockwise circles here. Bring it to 3, 6, 9, 12. 2 more, 3, 6, 9, 12. And try to stay in the horse stance. Remember, as you go through that circle, we're trying to keep those 5 toes on the floor at all times. All right, now let's stop at 12 o'clock and bring it to 9, 6, 3, 12. 2 more, 9, 6, 3, 12. 1 more, 9, 6, 3, 12. Drop the heel. Let's bring it back to our 2-handed grip, but now let's switch hands. All right, now posterior tuck, we're in that horse stance. And now let's lift that left heel high as we can. Drive it back down nice and slow. Lift. Down. Remember the idea on that push down with the heel. I love using that cue. Squish the empty soda can. That's going to produce more dorsiflexion forces, all right? I lift, plantar flexion, and then I drop and I push down, going on my dorsiflexion here. So I'm trying to improve the strength of that ankle going down into dorsiflexion. Okay, lift, 2 more, down, push the heel into the floor. Even when it's on the ground, still try to push that heel into the floor a little bit more. Okay, lift, and down, driving the heel into the floor. We'll lift here and we'll hold. Left hand goes to the hip, shift the heel toward that pinky toe, toward big toe, pinky toe. You're still gonna push down with that right hand and push into the floor with the left foot. Big toe, pinky toe, big toe, pinky toe, big toe. 12 o'clock, everyone, and now let's go clockwise. 3, 6, 9, 12. 2 more. 3, 6, 9, 12. Last one in this direction. 3, 6, 9, and 12. Counterclockwise. 9, 6, 3, 12. 9, 6, 3, 12. One more. 9, 6, 3, 12. I love doing these articulations with the foot and the ankle because my foot feels so much stronger and healthier after I'm done with them. Let's go now to our double foot variation of the foot and ankle articulations, okay? We want to stay in that posture the entire time. So I'll go from a little bit of a diagonal view here. My knees are bent, pelvis is tucked, shoulders stacked, and now I'm going to lift with both heels but not get taller in that posture. Just want to lift, down slow. Lift, down slow. And again, I'm pushing those heels to the floor. As I feel that, I should feel a little more tissue tension in the tibialis anterior, and then also some activation through my gastroc because I'm driving into the floor. Okay, we lift, down, push. Lift, down, push. So one more of these. Lift. Now shift both heels over to your right. Shift both heels over to your left. Shift both heels to the right. Shift both heels to the left. Back to the right. Bring it to 12 o'clock. And now let's go 1 circle clockwise. 3, 6, 9, 12. And now other way. 9, 6, 3, 12, and then bring them back down. All right, let's go into our posterior pelvic tilts or anterior pelvic tilts. Bring it back to that 12 o'clock positioning, 1 inch in front of the toes. All right, push into the floor, and now let's go anterior tilt. We're gonna add in some rotation during these as well today, and you'll see what I mean. Let's go anterior tilt, inhale, posterior tuck, exhale. Anterior tilt, posterior tuck, one more anterior tilt, posterior tuck. Take the stick and now bring it from 12 o'clock over to 10 o'clock. Okay, now anterior tilt, posterior tuck. Introducing a little bit of spiral line of rotation into those posterior pelvic tilts and anterior pelvic tilts, right? Posterior tilt, anterior tilt, posterior, anterior. Last one here, posterior. Change hands. Now bring to 2 o'clock. Anterior, posterior. Trying to get the hips and shoulders to separate here. So I don't want the hips to be turned. My hips should stay at 12 o'clock. And my shoulders are facing more of that too. Okay, anterior tilt, posterior tuck. And I'm still pushing down here 40%, right? Anterior tilt, posterior tuck. One more. Anterior tilt, posterior tuck. Let's go back to that 12 o'clock. All right, now let's go with our hip bumps. All right, make the feet a little bit wider. And now let's keep that posterior tuck so our pelvis is stacked underneath the shoulders. Okay, I'm gonna bump to my left first. So I push and produce force into the ground so I can hike the opposite hip nice and high, all right? And I should feel this in the side that you're pushing into the floor, that adductor. Now let's bump to the right, so I'm pushing through the left, and I should feel that more on my left adductor by not tilting or laterally flexing at the torso. Bump to the left. Bump to the right. Bump to the left. Bump to the right. Now bring the stick over to 10 o'clock. Bump to the left. Bump to the right. We're rotated on the upper half, but we're not laterally flexing. Bump to the left. Bump to the right. Bump to the left. Bump to the right. Change hands. Bring it now to 2 o'clock. And now bump to the left. Bump to the right. Stay low, knees are bent, pelvis is tucked the entire time. Bump left. Just pushing through the floor to get the opposite side to bump. Bump to the right. Bump to the left. Bump to the right. One more bump to the left. And now bump to the right. Let's bring the stick back to 12 o'clock. And now walk those feet back in nice and slow. Let's get those hands and arms extended. Okay, and now let's get into that horse stance again. Now let's go into our figure eights. Okay, so let's go with the right arm up. So we're pushing and winning with the left. Right arm comes up. Right arm down. Right arm wins, left arm up. I want to keep the stick in connection with my chest as I make that figure eight. One hand's gonna win. So I'm down, I'm going up to the right, so my left hand's winning right now, but I'm not rotating through the thoracic spine. I'm going down with the right, up to left. Down with the left, up to the right. And again, whichever direction you're going toward, that is the scap that I want you to think about retracting. Up, retract, depress. Up, retract, depress. Up, retract, depress. We should be pushing into the stick here, so we're compressing the hands. And now let's go the opposite direction. Now we're going up, left hand wins, going down to my right. Now the right arm comes up, right arm still wins, and I bring it down to my left. And again, I want to keep the stick in connection to my chest as I'm moving through this figure eight pattern or this kayaking pattern. As you can see, I'm not turning my torso, I'm just simply rotating my scapula as I make this figure eight. Notice how you see that connection with the stick and my chest the entire time. All right, I don't want it to come off here. When I bring it onto my chest, that's promoting more retraction, more extension, okay? And again, the long stick variation like this is a great regression for clients that are having trouble with the shorter stick during those kayaking motions. Let's go ahead and bring the hands, palms down on the stick, a little wider than shoulder width. Let's go into our dislocates, okay? Let's pull apart 40%, keep the pelvis tucked, and then bring it over the head as far as we can. Let's bring it back over, and then when we see it, let's push in. Pull apart, bring it over, keep the elbows fixed, keep all 10 fingers in contact. When you see it, we push in. All right, let's do 3. So one more of these in the traditional fashion. So pull apart and then bring it over the head. When you're in the end range, you should still be able to pull apart. Bring it over the head. Hold it here, everyone. Bring those feet together for me. And now let's take your right foot, step behind the left foot. And then if we cross it over, it's going to just challenge your base a little more. So we can go right behind or cross it over, but I want the full foot to be down. When the stick's overhead, we pull apart. I want the left arm now to win, and I want to laterally flex, get into my TFL, my lats a little bit, my QL. I want to address that lateral line. Now from here, push your hands together. Keep the arms straight. So it's changing our lines of tension on this one. Pull apart the hands. Push in. Pull apart. Now bring it back over the head first. Then we step. Keep pulling apart. Now my left foot steps behind. Full foot is down. And then my right hand's gonna win. And I'm gonna push that hip toward the side to try and get more tension on that lateral line. Okay, grip all 10 fingers. And now I'm pulling apart. Keep the arms straight. You should feel those feet working really hard here to maintain stability. And now push the hands together on the stick. You want the ears and biceps in line. Pull apart on the stick. Push in. Pull apart. As you pull apart, bring it over the head. And then step. Beautiful. Push in. Bring the hands all the way back down. Last one, cervical spine. Arms at 90 degrees. Place it at the base of the skull. Let's go into a half kneeling stance for this one, just so we can change our base. All right, let's go with the back foot in extension. All right, so the foot isn't flat here. I want to have that big toe in extension. All right, so again, we are not going to push the stick forward. I'm going to hold. I want the arms at 90 degrees first off. Yep, here we go. And now I want to retract the head back into the stick. At the base of the skull, 30%. Pull apart with the hands. Rotate to your left. You're retracting and rotating. Posterior tuck. Keep the lower abs tight. All right. Now retract and now rotate to your right. As we rotate the head also, we're getting into that vestibular system a little bit. You should feel balance begin to be challenged a little bit. All right. Rotate to your left. Rotate to the right. Push in with the stick, compress. Retract the head, rotate to your left. Rotate to the right. Rotate to the left. Rotate to the right. Come back to 12 o'clock, ease off. And now reset. All right, let's get into our couch stretch a little bit now. So if you have a couch or a bench or a yoga block, okay, anything you can prop that foot up on a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and grab that. And now let's go with the right foot up first. So I have my bench here. I'm gonna place that foot right up on the bench. And then I'm gonna take that left foot forward. I wanna try and keep that posterior tuck the entire time, all right? And we're not gonna do any lift offs here. We're just gonna try and work on opening up that hip flexor complex, okay? I want to work on monkey hangs, so I'm gonna take the stick and place it next to the hip and about 2 o'clock positioning, okay? Now I'm gonna reach up as high as I can here, and I'm gonna work on depressing that scap here. So I'm actually pulling down into the floor with the stick, and I want my front leg at 90 degrees. And I'm working on a posterior tuck, and that's gonna help me feel that stretch more through that psoas and the hip flexor tissue, as well as in that quad. All right, so from here, I'm gonna reach forward, and we're gonna work on adding in some rotation. So the hand's gonna come back as I pull into the floor, and I'm reaching toward my 3 o'clock right now. But I'm trying to keep my hips still facing that 12. And I'm working on my breathing. Remember, if you have trouble breathing in a position, then you don't own that position, all right? We should be able to breathe with control as we hold any position, all right? If it's difficult to breathe, I want you to come out of it a little bit. Rotate over to your 9. And as you rotate, the stick should come across your midline to get into your right lat tissue a little bit more. We're still pushing into the box or bench, whatever you have, and we're still keeping that hip in a posterior tuck. And then we're gonna reach. And again, we're always being active here, so that reach is an active reach. I'm trying to reach out farther, and I'm trying to grab a $100 bill. Rotate back to your 3. Rotate back to your 9. Excellent, bring it 12 o'clock. Now let's stand up and let's change legs. All right, so our left foot now is gonna be up. And our right foot is gonna be in front here at 90 degrees. Now remember, the closer my butt is to my heel, the more of that stretch I'm gonna get. And obviously if I have a higher platform, I'm gonna be at a shorter angle here, and that's gonna be a much harder stretch also. So start low, even on the ground is fine too. Start low, and then build it up over time, all right, and do it safely. Now we're gonna be with the stick next to the hip, again at the 2 o'clock position, and I'm gonna reach. This is gonna introduce that brachiation to strengthen the grip in the shoulder, and I'm gonna go my posterior tuck on my left pelvis, and then I'm gonna keep this leg in front at 90 degrees, and I'm gonna push my foot into that bench, squeeze the glute. I'm working here at 50%, and I'm gonna take my hand forward and reach, and now I'm gonna come across to my 9. And the arms should rotate too, but I'm keeping the hips facing 12. And then once you get into your positioning, we wanna breathe. Rotate over to your 3. Remember, the stick comes across that midline, and then we actively reach. And we're trying to grab that $100 bill. All right, with the hips, we're not trying to rotate here. I'm still pulling down into the stick, into the floor. Rotate over to your 9. Over to your 3. Stick comes across that midline, reach, and pull down. Bring it back to your 12. And now let's come up. Nice job, let's find the wall. I'm gonna use my squat rack right here as my wall so I can stay in the picture. I wanna have the inside leg forward, all right? So I'm gonna try and work on that functional line, that opposing shoulder and opposing hip. Okay, so I'm gonna start by getting my left knee on the floor, and I'm gonna have my arms straight out in front of me, okay? So my arms are gonna be extended, and I want the hands even to your shoulder in height, and the arms should be shoulder width. I'm trying to compress the ground here, so if you were here, you would see this foot I'm gonna drive back, this foot I'm gonna drive forward, compressing the ground beneath me. Okay, my arms are extended, and now my back foot is in extension. Very important here, working that high performance position here, my back foot. And now from here, we're not gonna lift yet, we're gonna work on just overcoming contractions, creating strength from the ground up here. We're gonna go at 60%. I'm gonna just push the arms into my immovable object, whether it's a squat rack or a wall, okay, or a partner. So again, we're here, compress the ground, 60%, a 10-second hold, we push, hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now relax. So that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna do it 3 times, and the 4th time, we're gonna lift up the knee. Reset that breath for me. And now again, the arms are shoulder width, we're shoulder height. Let's build now to 60%. Now push, compress the ground and push. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off, that's 2. We're gonna do this next one at 70%, and then at 80%, we're gonna introduce lifting that back knee, all right? Remember, I wanna keep the knee, hip, and shoulder in line. I wanna compress the ground beneath me. Arms straight, give me 70%. Push, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off. It's real important here that when you push, you're only using rotation and you're not leaning. If you feel like you would fall over if the stick wasn't there, I want you to reassess how you're creating that tension into the immovable object. All right, this is our last one here. We're going at 80%, all right, and then we're gonna try and lift that back knee. If you can't, I want you to hold the 80% and keep that knee on the ground, okay? So here we go. We have 80%. First, we're gonna push for 10 seconds and then hold. 80% push for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift and hold for 10, 9, 8. Keep pushing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that knee back down with control. Really good job here. Okay, now we're going to turn around and now get the other side. So again, we want the inside knee up, right, with the arms extended. Our first rep is going to be 50, then 60, then 70, with the knee on the ground, and then 80, we're going to lift. Keeping the arms in front, shoulder height, and shoulder width. Posterior tuck, compress the ground beneath you. And begin your first rep at 50%, push for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ease off. Make sure that back toe is in extension the entire time. Rep 2, 60%, keeping the arms straight, shoulder width and shoulder height, and now push. Hold 60%, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ease off. Third rep, we're going to 70%. And begin, push for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ease off. Last one here, now we're building it to 80, and then we're gonna lift that knee if it's possible, right? Here we go. Let's keep the arms in front, shoulder width, shoulder height. Push at 80% of your max effort for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knee down nice and slow. Ease out of that lunge. Let's bring it to the feet. We're going to our half kneeling stance. We're going to half kneeling slap shots. And then we're going to lift up the back knee and get into more of a long lunge. So left leg forward first, everyone. Right leg is going to be down first. Arms are extended. Let's grip, pull apart. Give me 50% on this one. Right hand forward first. No rotation out of the hips. My right arm will push forward. And now I give my left arm to be back here more to that stretch where I should feel it in my left pec and that bicep. And now I'll bring the right hand down to the floor. And I want to look up toward the ceiling, try and lengthen those hands. All right, my back foot, I'm going to push into that big toe, squeeze that right glute. I'm going to hold this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that right hand. And now let's bring the left hand forward. And we should feel a lot of stretch also in that right pec. Try and go inside of that knee. If we can't, then this will be all that we have for today. So we're trying to rotate and then coming inside of that front knee. Again, I want to produce that force into that back big toe. It's that extension. Squeeze that right glute, lengthen the arms here, and let's hold that for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that left hand. Bring it out of rotation. Right hand wins again. Bring it forward. You should be able to rotate a little bit farther. All right, now I want you to push into the floor at 60%. And now begin. Lengthen the arms. Hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that right hand. Left hand forward. Again, should be able to access some more rotation. And now again, I work on posterior tuck in the right hip, lengthen the arms here and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release left hand. I'm gonna bring the right hand forward again. On this one, I'm gonna introduce that lift off of the back knee if it's possible. Give me 70% here. I want you to lengthen the arms and hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now let's lift the back knee and hold. Drive that right foot back and now begin to actually rotate that left pec toward the ground so the stick should bend a little bit around that QL. And we should feel a little bit more of a stretch through the left bicep and pec now. And now it's open up, look behind toward that left hand, push down to your right hand. And again, let's try and rotate left pec toward the ground. Open up, look back to left hand. Come back to 12 o'clock, drop the right knee, release. Left hand forward, inside. Same thing we just did on the other side here, guys. 70% pull apart with the hands. Hold first for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We lift, and now I want you to rotate your right pec toward the ground, and we should get more of that stretch through that right pec and bicep. And now we open up, look back to the right hand. Try not to rotate on your back foot too much. And now again, we rotate the right pec toward the ground. And now open up. Push it to your left hand. Open the torso. Come back 12 o'clock, drop that knee. Change legs. Let's rotate the stick, a half rotation, because it was around the low back and it was bending a little bit. We want to save the stick for as long as possible. Pull apart the hands. Left hand forward first. Bring it to the ground. 60% pull apart. Look toward that right hand and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the eyes back to center. Release. Right hand comes forward. We're trying to get inside of that front leg. Again, posterior tuck in the left hip, squeeze the butt. Okay, pull apart the hands at 60%. Now look up toward that left arm. Now we hold that pull apart for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We release that right hand off the floor. Bring left hand back. We should be able to rotate a little more. Beautiful. Again, we want to rotate, not lean. All right, now we go 70% here. Look toward that right hand, pull apart in the hands, lengthen that stick and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the eyes back to center, release. Right hand comes forward again. Look at that, so easy. So much easier. Open up some ranges with some isometrics. Nothing better. Rotate up toward top hand and pull apart with the stick. Lengthen that stick here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Left hand forward. We rotate. We're going to introduce that lift off with that knee. Going at 80% here in that pull apart. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and lift that left knee if you can. And now I want you to rotate and bring that right pec toward the floor. Again, it's going to add in some more tension through that right pec and bicep. And now let's push into your left hand, open up, try and look back to your right hand. Remember, once we look away from the center, we introduce that vestibular system in more balance training. All right, let's one more time, rotate right pec toward the floor. And now look up, hold. Bring the eyes back to center, dropping that back knee, and now let's switch. Going to the right side now. Pulling apart here, 80%. And now hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If we can, we lift off that left knee, hold, and now again, rotate that left pec toward the ground. And now pull apart the hands, push into your right arm to hold more stability on that rotation. Rotate left pec to the floor. Open up, push right hand into the ground. Last few seconds. And bring the eyes back to center. Lower the left knee. Let's come out of that rotation. Let's bring it up to our feet for a second. We're now going to go into our elevated pigeon stretch. So before I get into that, I want to introduce some rotation or some isometrics into the external rotation. So let's go overhead and bring our feet together, okay? Let's go to the stick at 10 o'clock. Let's get the left arm to be straight, okay? So feet together, the stick is 2 inches in front of that toe line at 10 o'clock. And I want you to lift your right leg for me up to about 90 degrees of hip flexion. If you can get a little higher, let's go a little bit higher. And externally rotate. Now let's push into the stick. Give me 60%, all right? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Good, let's switch sides. 2 o'clock. Our arms straight, feet together. Remember, the farther away the stick is, the more rotation you're going to need. So if it's hard to reach the stick, you just move it closer to your midline, okay? And now left leg, we lift, externally rotate, and now push. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both feet down. Excellent job. Let's go ahead and grab your box or your bench. If you don't have either one of those two things, we can do this in the ground as well. Let's take the left leg up first. So we're externally rotating on that left side. We're going to have the stick in the right hand with the left hand on the bench. So after we did the isometric, it should be a little more comfortable to sit into that elevated pigeon, okay? We're going to have the right hand out in front of us with the left hand on the bench. If you can or want to, you can have both hands holding that stick like so. I want you guys to give me 50% tension with this front leg and the stick. We're nice and extended here through our torso. And I want you to push that leg into the bench, down toward the floor, and push the stick down into the ground as well. All right, give me that hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off, but we're still going to be in that stretch. Let's hinge over a little bit, so we're getting a little bit more into that posterior hip tissue. Now again, give me that 50% effort pushing that leg into the bench or box or ground and the stick pushing down as well. All right, and give me that for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. ease off, and hinge a little bit more. So this is going to be our last rep on this side, and then we'll switch and give me that same amount of effort, pushing into the floor, pushing that leg into the bench, box, or ground. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's come back up in extension. Now let's change legs. Right leg forward or up. Stick left hand. First one again, we're at 50% here. We push the stick in the leg, stick into the floor, leg into that bench, box, or ground. 50% in begin. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off. We hinge a little bit more forward over that front leg. Second rep, 10 seconds, go for 10, 9, 8. This leg here is also producing force into the ground, so we're not just relaxing that back leg. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Last one, we can hinge forward a little more if we can. And now again, last rep here, guys. Pushing down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it up. And now we come out of that pigeon stretch. So in that stretch here, we want to keep that back foot active also. We don't want to just kind of hang back there and not do any work. Let's get those feet nice and wide. Get into our ninja lunge. Let's bring the stick inside of the right big toe with that hand at the eye level. Knees bent. And I want you to grip 40%, push down into the floor, keeping the stick vertical. Let's hinge. Lengthen the arm. Left arm's going to reach for the ground here. I'm going to go thumb down, reach across, palm forward, and now I'm going to push into my right foot and left hand, and I'm going to start to introduce some frontal plane motion. Okay, using that foot and the hand to push away from the direction where I'm going into to create more leverage to get into that deeper range of motion. When I lunge my right hip, I bring the knee outside of the stick, and now I push into my left foot and try to create as much length as I can through my left leg. Push into that right foot, left hand again. Bring it back, right knee outside of the stick. Come back to that 12 o'clock. Release that bottom hand. Stand up. Whew. Change sides, everyone. Inside left big toe. Hand at eye level. Grip 40%, push down. Almost done today, you guys are doing great. Pushing down to the floor. And now hinge, butt back, chest forward, lengthen left arm. That already should feel good on that bicep and pec. Right arm's gonna hang. Reach across with that left hand, or right hand rather, thumb down, palm forward. And now we're gonna push into your left foot, right hand. Introduce some thoracic rotation in that frontal plane. Bring it outside of the stick with the left knee. And make sure that we have controlled breathing in our position. Push into your left foot, right hand. Introduce more rotation by pushing that arm into the ground. Left knee outside. Bring the hips back to center. Release the hand. Bring it up. Let's get into our lateral bow and arrow. Left side first. Feet hip width. 6 inches away from the foot. Bottom arm on the logo. Top arm, thumb down, palm forward. And now extend, laterally flex, and then extend the arms. Ears and biceps are in line. Nice controlled breathing here. Pull the bottom arm in, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back out and hold. Five more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Change sides. Last one here, then we're done with today's class. Laterally flex, push the hip away, and now extend the arms. Keeping the leg straight, hold. Pull that bottom arm in, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, extend it back out and now hold. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up nice and slow. And that's it, guys. Thanks again for joining me. All right, I'll be back next time. Again, don't forget, check out the website. Follow us and subscribe to us on YouTube. And then again, my social is Jared_DYEM for more content about what I use the sticks for in my daily practice and for my clients at the studio. All right, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. Take care.